This past week, and I got to say, the NWA, they got to take some responsibility on this too. But this past week, on this week's edition of NWA Power, there was a match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. Jim Cornette is doing the commentary for NWA Power. During the match, when he was trying to put over how tough Trevor Murdoch is, here's something that Cornette said. He said, quote, "He's the only man I've ever known that could strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia." What he meant was he's tough and no one's going to touch him kind of thing. The editors missed it because the show did not air live. It aired after post-production. They missed it. They left the comment in. Of course, in this sanitized world we're in now, Sean, everybody took offense to it. And what was the outcome of that? Here's a screenshot from the NWA's website there. Do you have that, Nigel? Yep. Jim Cornette resigns from the National Wrestling Alliance. I'm sure that he was forced out. He was probably told to resign in order to, because that way they could try to make it look like he's got some say over the situation. He was absolutely forced out. What do you think? To me, and we were talking about this off the air, this is very much like the Don Cherry story that happened in Canada, and I'm not going to go into it because a lot of people don't know who Don Cherry is that watch this podcast, but he was let go after being an NHL analyst for like 4 decades because of something he said that was construed as being racist. Jim Cornette now forced out for that comment. What do you think? My opinion is that Cornette hasn't changed. The world has changed, and so it's not really a place anymore for a Jim Cornette.
So there's a lot here, and I mean, I don't exactly make it a secret. I try to avoid all the Cornette, Russo-related stuff. We don't run their back and forths on our website. We don't really do a lot of that, but from what I was told, this was kind of like the last chance for Jim Cornette. And the thing is, this should have never been an issue because it should have been edited out to begin with.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Should have been edited out. Does that make it okay for Jim Cornette to say it? No. As I was telling Nigel off the air, I get what he was trying to say, that he was tough. I think it had more to do with people being hungry in Ethiopia than black people being in Ethiopia. That being said,
yeah, you're right. That's what it's supposed to be.
Say sandwich, say ice cream, say anything besides fried chicken. And even then, still not a great look. And, I saw people that were like, oh, well, I guess you haven't seen the Starvin' Marvin episode of South Park. And I'm like, that was the 90s.
And actually, that brings me to a point that you just said that. I apologize because I don't know who said this on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter posted a clip of a match. I believe it was Bob
95.
Backlund. Yeah, Bob Backlund and Scott Steiner, I believe it was, from 1995. Jim Cornette is doing commentary. This is in WWE. He's doing commentary. He used the exact same line, the identical line, and that was, 24 years ago? So he's just kind of regurgitating stuff that he did then. But unfortunately, stuff that worked 25 years ago, you can't say now. And Don Cherry, a lot of stuff has popped up on Twitter over the last couple of weeks, or the last week, I guess, from stuff he said 30 years ago. And people are like, how did he get away with that? That was 30 years ago. And you could get away with that, and you can't get away with it now. It's just the world we live in.
Yeah, and Jim Cornette has his audience, and they like the edgelord stuff, and that's just how it is. Did I think that line was okay? No, I didn't. I didn't like that line. I didn't like him making light of suicide either. But I mean, different people have different standards and guidelines, and there's stuff that I say that piss some people off, and I'm like, why'd that piss you off?
Are you kidding, Sean? Really?
Yeah. But I don't know everybody's experience, and nobody else knows everybody else's experience. But just as obnoxious as the people who get upset about everything are the people who are like, snowflakes get upset about everything. They are equally as obnoxious.
You're right.
And, it's just like,
it's
a case-by-case thing. And if NWA doesn't want to do business with Jim Cornette, that's their business.